Hello, my name is Joseph Gordon. I'm going to be going over the picture book Guess How Much I Love You, written by Sam McBratney and illustrated by Anita Jerome. Textual background. Sam McBratney's Guess How Much I Love You was originally published in 1994. It was beautifully illustrated by Anita Jerome. The book is a 32-page hardcover that has a target audience of pre-K to third grade children. There was a follow-up book by McBratney and Jerome, and that was called You Are All My Favorites in 2004. Here's a fun fact about McBratney. He has been writing children's books for over 30 years, and he says a lot of his thoughts about all the children's books he has written were based on his father's and his relationship, and he runs a lot of his ideas by his children, and that's how he comes to the conclusions of all the books he has written. So that's just a fun fact about the author. Plot summary. This tale is based on a young rabbit, Little Nut Brown Hare, and his father, Big Nut Brown Hare. The story is based on the priceless question, Guess How Much I Love You? It is a fun adventure of the father and son searching for the absolute greatest way to show their love for each other. The measures used increase each time, as the son continues to get outdone by his father. Little Nut Brown Hare realizes that his father's arms are larger, he's taller, he can jump higher, and can easily top each physical scenario that Little Nut Brown Hare thinks of. So here are some images from the book, and you can see Little Nut Brown Hare in the top corner saying he loves his father this much, and then you see Big Nut Brown Hare saying he loves his son this much, and of course it's much larger. So um, Little Nut Brown Hare can now realize that he can't outdo his father physically. He begins to use distances, and Little Nut Brown Hare thinks of, I love you all the way down the lane as far as the river. And now he's thinking, okay, I can outdo my father by showing how much I love him by saying I love him this much, and not using physical body parts, but now using distances. And it continues to go back and forth, and as he continues to get outdone by his father, because his father keeps saying, I love you this much further, Little Nut Brown Hare looks up and gets clever and puts his love into great perspective for Big Nut Brown Hare by saying, I love you right up to the moon. And his father says, that is a very, very far um, scenario. And as Little Nut Brown Hare is falling asleep, his dad, Big Nut Brown Hare, of course, outdoes it, and the story ends by saying, I love you right up to the moon and back. Style. The illustrations are extremely creative and captivating, as Jerome was able to capture the boniness that hares have in real life, and the soft colors used really shows the actual characteristics of hares. The illustrations are very accurate and include very small details, but still have a cartoon feel to them, which I think is why the illustrations are so warming and inviting. Formal elements, composition. I couldn't find a image of the very first image used in the book, but it is um, Little Brown Hare. I'm sorry, Little Nut Brown Hare and Big Nut Brown Hare staring right at you, and Perspective plays a big part in that because when you're beginning to read the book, it offers you a invitation to join them on this journey that they're about to begin. So, perspective, I think, plays a big role in that. Um, the size and placement of the text and images also play a huge role in the story. Focal points are created with each measure that both little nut brown hare and large nut brown hare uh, use. The focus on the size difference is critical as it allows big nut brown hare to easily express his love in larger amounts compared to little nut brown hare. The size difference is on purpose because it'll it'll have children to easily relate to how much the big nut brown hare can physically show with such as arms spread apart or how tall he is. So I think that's one of the key features on the size difference of little nut brown hare and big nut brown hare. Balanced composition is also done well because the images and text never seem to provide more emphasis than one another. The pictures are all well balanced, and as you see in this picture, little nut brown hare and big nut brown hare are on the right side of the image, but and then of course that's the focus, but the left side of the image isn't left out. Anita Jerome very carefully places real life objects on the left side of the image, which provides a balanced feel. And you can see the focal point of this image is the moon in the distance, and um, and you can see the text over off on the side. But the all the images are never um, outweighed by the text, and vice versa. The formal elements, lines, and color. All of the lines in all the illustrations are all fall under organic lines. There are no really clear distinctions between um, straight lines creating focal points. Basically, all the images are very real life. They're all created friendly. All the big nut brown hare and little nut brown hare's faces are all inviting and, like I said, very friendly. And that has a lot to do with the colors used. Throughout the story, the only colors used are soft, earthly colors, which provides a warm and charming feeling. They're realistic, and the use of delicate watercolors provides that sense of warmth. Rhythm and movement. The book size is a small hardcover. It's wider than it is high, which allows the depiction of landscapes. There is a interrupted rhythm. The movement is not continually forward, but rather as the book is set up, you see the pictures, you read the text, and then your eyes wander back to the pictures. And um, there is also a natural pause between page turns, which allows your eyes to wander to the images first as you turn the page. The repetition of little nut brown hare and big nut brown hare images, it shows little nut brown hare giving his scenario of "I love you this much," and then it shows big nut brown hare with the same relation saying "I love you this much," and that provides a sense of repetition. And the text and images are all well oriented on each page. There's really not more focus on one another, but they both work together well. The constant engagement using the ideas of outdoing each other, and this also includes the sense of humor. And this here provides um, uh, a well children's book, a well written children's book, as well as well illustrated. Because when parents are reading to their children, it's it is a must have to be have something that can be easily related to, and that's what this book is. Meaning repetitive pattern. Repetitious use of little nut brown hare, big nut brown hare. Those are fun to say for children. Children, when you read that to them, they might giggle, smile, and that is a very unique feature for a children's book. And um, I love you is heavily used throughout the entire story, and their actions demonstrating their love. Each one is outdone. And here's an example. Little Nut Brown Hare, who was going to bed, held on tight to Big Nut Brown Hare's very long ears. And in that quote, you see Little Nut Brown Hare and Big Nut Brown Hare. And here's an example of I love you. I love you as high as I can reach. This phrase is used often in the story. Each time Little Nut Brown Hare tells his father how much he loves him, his father repeats it, but with more emphasis, and returns the focus back to his son. So this is what kind of sets the stage for his son to try to outdo it, and his father does the same thing and outdoes his by topping one another. Textual analysis. Characterization. Characterization is the love between a parent and a child, and in this case it was a father and a son, but the overall meaning is um, the love between a parent and a child. Also, Little Nut Brown Hare looks up to Big Nut Brown Hare as he can easily outdo Little Nut Brown Hare's jumping. He's taller, he can reach higher, and several times throughout the story, Little Nut Brown Hare says, "I wish I could do that." So that just kind of creates the environment for a role model. Here are some of the themes. The biggest theme is unconditional love. And there's also happiness, expressing feelings, and recognizing the measure compared to be able to top each other's scenario. And the tale is very friendly, very warming, and it shows unconditional love, but it avoids being didactic. And the only source I used was the book Guess How Much I Love You.